What's going on, ladies? Hope you're having the best day ever. My name is Coach Christian. This is the Fit Mom Formula Framework. I want to be very clear. You do not need to be a mom in order to watch this. This will work for you if you're a woman 35 plus. I just want to make this very clear. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of moms over 40 for the last 8 years since prior to COVID. And these are all of the frameworks that I've used to help them lose 30, 40, 50 pounds without having to go through the madness of dieting, cutting out foods that you love, or doing like crazy cardio or HIIT workouts. We all know that that doesn't work anymore. It's too stressful on your body. We have to consider your cortisol. We also have to consider your busy schedule. And this needs to require, all of this needs to work with your life so that you can be consistent, right? So, this training is going to actually reveal why everything you've been taught about eating is keeping you stuck. And it's actually a lot more simple than you think. Page number 2. Cool. So, why most moms, let me move my head. It's too big. Okay, so why most moms or women over 40 can't stay consistent. So maybe you struggle with obsessive thinking. So you're constantly thinking about, is this the right thing to eat, or is this good, or is this bad? And you can never relax when it comes to making decisions with your food. So obsessive thinking. Second thing is overcomplicating nutrition, thinking that you need to follow like this complex meal plan or look for another recipe online. I know that's you. And if it's not you, you're probably still trying to save workouts and trying to save recipes on Instagram, and you're still not seeing results. And then you're overthinking meals. Like you run into decision fatigue. So you're overanalyzing, what should I eat? What would be healthy every single day with food? What's clean? What's bad? Is this okay? So you're overthinking. And then lastly, like you've been restrictive. So you might be able to lose some weight, but then like let's say Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, all these events make it really hard for you to quote unquote be good because you feel like you have to restrict chocolate, you have to restrict the sugar cookies at Christmas, you can't have the apple pie or the pumpkin pie, or you have a little bit, but you can't control how much you have, and so you think sugar's the enemy, and so you've always struggled with your relationship with food and you've been too restrictive, so you can't keep off the weight long term. You're good when you're good, but you don't know how to be able to fit in all foods. That's the problem. And so diet culture is the real problem. Like it's not your fault, to be honest. Like dieting culture wants you to feel like nutrition needs to be complicated. Okay, because the more confused that you are, the more products they can sell you, right? You think Weight Watchers, you think Jenny Craig, you think these other companies that have all these products that they try to sell you, they want you to feel overwhelmed because the more that you need them, meaning that program or that diet or that food, then, the more that you need it because you're confused, the more you end up spending money on them. And so that's not by accident, that's literally their business model. So Weight Watchers will teach you points because it keeps you away from becoming independent at understanding calories and protein. So then, and it also seems more simple, even though it's not, than tracking your calories and protein. And so like everything that you would find online to try to figure out how to make logging your food really easily is so hard to find on purpose. So I want you to know that you don't need another meal plan. You don't need to cut more food, specifically carbs and sugar, because they're delicious. And you don't need to be eating less, meaning starving yourself. And you definitely don't need to be feeling guilty about enjoying carbs and such. You need simplicity because that wins every time. Because you don't want to be making separate meals for your family, and you want to be eating the same thing as them, and then you already honestly have what you need, so you don't need to go to the grocery store and buy expensive groceries. So what does simplicity mean? Okay, simplicity isn't giving up, it's actually how you win, because most women feel like unless the recipe is this like fancy thing, like this casserole with 17 different ingredients, it's not actually enough. I don't know where this came from, but I think it's just social media in comparison. But what's wrong with a wrap, like a whole wheat wrap with a lot of fiber, chicken, lettuce, tomato, Caesar dressing, or even chicken, like chicken strips in there to make like a chicken Caesar wrap. The calories and the macronutrient and micronutrient profile and the vitamins and minerals that are in that can be just as good as anything that you find on Instagram. But because it doesn't look fancy, right? It's just a chicken Caesar wrap. It doesn't catch most people's eyes anymore because our brains are so fried from social media, right? So I want you to know, like, simplicity isn't giving up. It's gonna make your life more simple. Okay. So what you need to know is how much calories and protein you need. That's everything, literally, because everything else is going to build from there. If you know how much calories and protein you need without having to be perfect, you can literally fit in anything you like and still lose weight. Okay, you need to find staples. So you need to have a small list of foods that you enjoy that are protein. Foods like that you actually like. So let's say tacos, burgers, maybe like overnight oats or like, we'll say baked oats. You need to just have some staples. You see, when I'm sitting here thinking, what am I going to eat tomorrow? I know I normally like my sweet potato fries with my ground beef, and I like it with cottage cheese. At lunch, I really like my leftovers of ground beef inside of a wrap with lettuce, tomato, and some salsa. I like to have a burrito. Breakfast, I like to have a protein shake, and then put that shake in a bowl of cereal that's high fiber with maybe a piece of fruit. Like so simple yet delicious. And at night, I like to have a little ice cream bar, or I like to have like a Kit Kat, but I can fit this into my calories, and these are my staples, and these are things that I love, and that still have a lot of nutrients. And then I track it the night before so that every day I wake up and I actually have a plan. Takes me no more than 2 to 5 minutes to actually know what I'm going to be eating the next day. And so this is how we're going to find out your calorie goal. If you want your own calorie goal, just DM me the word macro after this video and I will send you a calorie calculator that'll give you your calories and protein. For example, if you're 155 or if you're 180 pounds right now, you are 5 foot 8, oops, 5 foot 8, and you're 44 years old and you're moderately active, you know, it'll end up showing you your calories and protein for that day in a minute. Okay, if I go to the next slide over here, hold on, where it says 1750 for somebody that weighs that much, that's that height, that is that age. So I will throw you your own so that it'll give you your calories and your protein. We don't focus on carb and fat. That's too many metrics. But yeah, so here is actually how to get 100 grams of protein very easily before 1 p.m. because 100 grams of protein is not enough to help you stay full and stabilize your blood sugar so that you're not craving as much sweets and salty foods late at night if that's something you struggle with. So, yeah, and I said 100 grams of protein is impossible because that's what most people think. So it could be as easy as a spinach and egg feta wrap from Costco. It's ready made. You just put it in the air fryer for 5 minutes or in the microwave for 5 minutes, 20 grams of protein. You have half a cup of Greek yogurt with some berries, mix that together, boom, that's like 30, 40 grams of protein right there in the morning. You didn't need to spend more than 5 minutes. No meal prep required. Then in the mid morning, not quite lunch, you literally have a protein shake. 500 milliliters of 2% milk, which would give you 17 grams of protein, and 2 scoops of any protein powder that digests well for you. That would give you easily 2 scoops of 60 grams plus 17. We're talking 87 grams of protein. Sorry, 60 grams of protein plus that 70, yeah, 77 grams of protein, right? Is that right? I believe so. My brain isn't working. It's 11 o'clock at night. But that would be 77. You would already be at 100 grams of protein between these two things here by 10 a.m. Okay, it says 7:30 a.m. here. You don't need to start your breakfast at that time, but the earlier you start, the easier it is to get in protein before 1. And then lunch, you just have your leftovers. Maybe it was like those Bear chicken bites at Costco with some sweet potato fries and some veggies. Boom, another 30 grams of protein. We had 130 grams of protein by 12:30. You didn't really, this isn't that much food. It's literally a small feta wrap with yogurt, a protein shake, and some lunch. Like, not even a lot of food. People just overcomplicate things. You see how easy that is? No meal prep really required here at all. Just pack, I mean, maybe just the sweet potato fries. That's it. There isn't any real meal prep involved in any of this. So, this is how you hit your protein every single day to get 130, 150 grams so that you can actually start burning more calories and losing fat. Every single meal, don't overthink it. Make sure there's at least 30 to 50 grams of protein, minimum. How you figure that out? You literally just plan it into MyFitnessPal or any other app. We have our own app, but my clients use MyFitnessPal too if they prefer that. And you just log what you're gonna eat. Could be 500 milliliters of milk, 2 scoops of protein powder, some berries, boom, 80 grams of protein. Like, doesn't take more than 30 seconds to log that into the app. But then you actually have a plan going into each day and you're not restricting and you're starting to learn how much calories and protein is in what you're eating. This is the clarity you need. If you are avoiding this, okay, the magic is in work that you continue to avoid. Do not avoid the basics. This is as basic gets. Two, a simple portion visual. Not a big fan of this when you start to think about like portioning with your hand, but if you're traveling on the road and you need to, yeah, it's a great way to visualize whether or not you're actually getting enough protein. Should be the size of your palm. And then fill the gap with a protein shake or snack. So I always like to have a shake in the middle of my day because sometimes I'm busy, don't have much of an appetite between doing all this work. So a shake or a protein bar is really good. And then lastly, build, like again, just build your meals around protein. As you can tell, protein is such an important staple for women over 40. You're losing muscle 1 to 2% every single year. By the time you're 50, it's like 50% of women over 50 fracture a bone in their lifetime, mainly because they're losing muscle much easier because they're not as strong, and then your bones are becoming more brittle because you're not actually lifting any heavy weights. So that's why this protein thing is so important, but it's also going to help with your sugar crashes and your energy levels if you're feeling tired around 2 or 3. And so last but not least, all you got to do is comment below strong. Comment below strong. I'll get you on a quick and free 30 to 40 minute chat. That way you and I can brainstorm your perfect game plan together, no strings attached. We'll see if this is a really good fit. We'll also go over what I think has been holding you back so that way you don't waste any more time. That's the reality of it. And we'll just go over some of the different options that make the most sense for you inside of our Fit Mom Formula program. So if that's you and you're ready to lose 10, 20 pounds, get stronger, feel more confident, actually fix your relationship with food and stop overthinking what you need to be eating so that you don't have to keep saving Instagram videos of recipes and workouts. Again, message me strong and I'll reach out to see if I can help.